Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping in Conroe, Texas. I recently visited the Houston area, so I decided to go ahead and look at some of the big box stores. So we are at the Conroe, Texas Lowe's, and as always, if you get a chance, please make sure you guys are hitting the like button for this video and as subscribing to my channel. I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, and I would love for you guys to continue to grow our community of Grow Folds plant viewers. Anyways, I am out in Conroe, Texas, which is North Houston, and you can see that this Lowe's actually is super full. It's already packed with lots of vegetables, herbs, and with spring just around the corner, or actually spring is in full force now, I don't see these places getting any more full than this. I love the fact that they have so many plants. Like, take a look at these hydrangeas right over here. Gorgeous looking hydrangeas. And the cool thing about the North Houston area is there's a lot of pine trees. So the soil for like the Conroe area, Willis, New Waverly, Huntsville area, those the soil over there is going to be naturally more acidic because of the pine trees, and hydrangeas absolutely love that. I haven't been able to successfully grow hydrangeas in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at, but my family is in the North Houston area, and I've seen hydrangeas, azaleas, camellias, all of those acid-loving flowering plants just thrive in that area. And you can see these gorgeous looking hydrangeas. I definitely want to see if I can be able to grow that, but let's take a look at this big box store. So I do a lot of plant shopping in North Dallas, so we're going to see what kind of plants they have available in terms of like Costa Farms, Live Trends, Urban Jungles, and you can see right off the bat. Do you guys see what I see? Okay, so there's a bunch of plants. I'm just going to pan over here for a second. Wow, I did not anticipate finding a cistus discolor on a totem of all places in Lowe's at Conroe, Texas. And this one is only for $29.98. That is insane. Now, for those who don't know what cistus discolor is, it is one of those sought after plants. It is a gorgeous looking plant. I mean, look at that silver gray foliage, that purple underside. I haven't seen these types of plants grown on a totem, so that is awesome. So lately, you know, we've been going to like big box stores and actually local plant nurseries where they have plants growing up a totem. I've shown you guys some Hoyas, but I've never seen a cistus discolor on a totem. Now, most people will grow this particular plant to let it trail in a hanging basket, but this is amazing. And I love the fact that these leaves have definitely sized up and gotten larger as it's grown up a totem, and $29.98 is not bad at all. So really cool to see that. As you know, you go to different cities and different places in the country for big box stores, what kind of plants are available. I was not expecting to see a cistus discolor on a totem, so I don't know if we'll see other plants available at this North Houston big box store. Like right over here, we're looking at a beautiful Calathea macuyana. Love that as well. This is for $29.98. That is a large Calathea. We've got some yucca canes right over here. We've got a lot of large foliage plants. I would say the organization could use a little bit of help here, but I want to go back to this. This is an awesome cistus discolored on a totem, and I remember buying a hanging basket from Callaway's, which is another local chain of nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, years back, but I haven't really seen cistus discolor available to purchase anywhere, and to see it in a big box store is amazing. You can see we've got some Phalaenopsis orchids here. We've got some gorgeous looking Dracaenas, more Phalaenopsis orchids right over here. That's the thing about Lowe's. You can go to any part of the country, and I'm pretty sure that every Lowe's will have at least some Phalaenopsis orchids. That is another plant that I am considering adding into my houseplant collection. Again, it's just a matter of being able to take care of them, give them the right conditions. And as always, I always like to talk about, whenever we go big box store plant shopping, we have to be mindful about the space in our homes, the lighting conditions we have the amount of time we can invest in watering and just pest control. So just keep that in mind as we're looking at these big box store plant shopping videos, because it's very easy to buy all of this. Like I would totally buy 2 or 3 of these Calathea orbifolias. I remember seeing this size Calathea orbifolias at Home Depot. These are absolutely gorgeous, and these are also for $29.98. Not a bad price for a 10-inch potted up planter for these Calathea orbifolias. You know, with Calatheas, they do take a little bit of time to grow, so to be able to find these in these large sizes for a you know, a very fair price, that is amazing. You can't go to a big box store and not see an Aglaonema silver, you know, silver bay. We've got an Aglaonema green, I think green bowl, and I want to show you this. This is another plant find that I haven't really seen out in North Dallas, and that is a tractor seat plant. This, I'm going to flash over the actual Latin scientific name of it. Really like this plant a lot. I just love the large foliage. I also love just the shape of it. This is also for $28.98, so it's $1 less than the Calatheas. Really like that a lot. But oh my goodness, oh my gosh, like are you serious right now? Epipremnum pinnatum dragon tail totem. So in the Philippines, which is where I'm from and my family's from, we call this Epipremnum pinnatum dragon tail tibatib. These pretty much grow like weeds in the Philippines. It's endemic to all over the Philippines. But to be able to see this available, so typically we will see the Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue. This is just the green version, which I like as well. But for $29.98 to see it growing up a totem at Lowe's at a big box store, this is awesome. Typically, if you're gonna find this, you would probably find this at like a local plant nursery, but $29.98 is not bad for this totem. I've already spent my money in terms of what plants I was gonna buy out in Huntsville, Texas, the Home Depot there, but if I'm ever back in the North Houston area and these are available, I would definitely buy that Epipremnum pinnatum dragon's tail. Really cool. It fenestrates as it grows up a pole. I mean, that is awesome. And we have some bird of paradise right over here, and then this is a really cool Calathea rospicta. I think that's what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Love this particular Calathea because the leaves are velvety. Like, it has a velvety texture. It's not smooth like the other ones. I really think this is one of those Calatheas, however, that would be a little bit more challenging to grow. I've seen a lot of people reviewing this particular Calathea saying it's one of the more challenging Calatheas. This one is for $29.98. What I like about this Calathea is obviously just the velvety texture of the leaves. That's the thing when we're collecting houseplants and growing plants. I like to look at plants for these subtleties in their variegation, the coloration, the texture of the leaves, the growth pattern, whether it's clumping or if it's got large leaves or narrow leaves. That is a really unique looking Calathea, one that I would think would require a little bit more and just a little bit more care with the velvety leaves. I think that it would definitely need a little bit more humidity. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if you've had some really good luck growing that. And then, you know, Aglaonema silver bay. If you've been watching my channel for the last 2 months, you already know that my favorite plants to grow are Aglaonema. I will say Aglaonema have become a little bit challenging in terms of keeping them from getting leggy. I've had a couple of Aglaonemas shed their leaves, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing wrong to where they grow there. Needless to say, I still love Aglaonemas. And you can see right over here, we got some exotic angels, Costa Farms releases, a bunch of hanging baskets by Costa Farms. We've got some kokedama orchids right over here, some phalaenopsis orchids, really nice looking ones. I like the fact that they're in those coconut husks. Really good way to minimize using plastic. And then we've got some Aglaonema red siams here. Very common Aglaonema, but needless to say, I think everybody should at least grow that one. Very easy to take care of. And I love crotons. Some people love or hate crotons. What you have to understand about crotons is crotons are really not meant to be grown indoors. They thrive better outdoors in full sun. So I recently bought a croton magnificent, and I am growing it in a south-facing side of my house, full sun, and we will see if it will get very large. My grandmother, who is really the source of my inspiration for getting into houseplants in general, she's grown crotons, and her crotons are huge. They're about 3 to 4 feet tall, and I just think they're amazing. And you can see right over here, we've got some more plants. We've got a Dracaena, maybe lemon surprise. Not 100% sure on the plant ID. And then we've got another croton, more crotons. And here you guys go. Here is another Hedera helix, guys, or a Hedera helix English ivy. This is the asterisk Hedera helix. I saw this for the first time when I went to a Lowe's out in Austin, Texas, about a week ago, and I really like the actual shape of the leaf. It does look like an asterisk, so that's really cool. And you can see we've got some more typical Costa Farms hanging baskets of exotic angel plants. We've got another Hedera helix there. We've got a bunch of Raven ZZs here. I swear we will never run out of Raven ZZs. And you know, about 3 to 4 years ago, Raven ZZs were really considered an uncommon or rare plant. Now you can find them everywhere, and I do find their care very easy, especially if you grow a Raven ZZ in a self-watering planter. We've got some self-watering planters right over here of some bird's nest ferns. Really nice looking bird's nest ferns. I want to add a bird's nest fern, but I need to really do my research first to see if I have the right conditions for my home and the time to really invest in them. Now, an easy plant to grow would be a Dracaena. And then here we've got some Ficus lyratas or fiddle fig leaf trees. Nice looking fiddle fig leaves. Mine is actually doing fairly well considering I got it for 99 cents on clearance in a 6-inch planter. And you can see here we've got an Aglaonema red Siam. I love Aglaonema red Siams just because of the pink stems. And I like the fact that Costa Farms is releasing different types of Aglaonemas. Like right here, we've got an Aglaonema pink Siam. So this one has more pink margins and pink outlining on the leaves. And then we've got an Aglaonema green papaya right over here. Really nice looking Aglaonema. You know, with Aglaonemas, I think the worst thing you can do with an Aglaonema is actually overwater it. They are susceptible to a little bit of fungicide. So if you see your plants actually having some browning, definitely spray it with some insecticidal soap, some fungicide soap for your Aglaonemas, and you should be okay. But I wanted to pan over here again and just keep showing you all these gorgeous looking plants. It's really nice to be able to actually travel out of town. I still don't know that plant ID right there, but I've seen that a couple of times. And what's interesting is I don't typically see a Ficus triangularis variegata released by Urban Jungle in the North Dallas area. So it's really interesting that they have this available for $13.98. Again, that's the thing about going plant shopping. I do intend to, whenever I do my road trips or I travel out of state or out of the country, I will definitely do some plant shopping and show you what plants are available. And then over here, for instance, we've got a zebra plant, and this zebra plant looks really nice. And this one is actually another Urban Jungle release. So this is another plant that I typically don't see in North Dallas released, but the cistus discolor, I am in shock that I saw that. That's amazing. I wish I could have bought it, but again, I am really trying not to buy so many plants. I feel like I'm adding so many plants every week. You got to think, I do plant content like this every single day. So for the most part, every day I am in a big box store, some type of grocery store, some type of local plant nursery, and I am filming, plants for you guys. So hopefully you guys appreciate and love my content. I try very hard to give you guys quality videos and give you guys some plant commentary. If you haven't already and have been watching this already, please make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I didn't realize that by just simply clicking the like button, YouTube will really push out my videos to more people that may have not discovered the channel. I think that would be awesome. We've had some really good live premieres. I think the most we've had was about 85 people watching at one time. I'm hoping someday we will get over 100 plant foldies. And if you're new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies to be able to go to the live premiere chats. But as you can see, I've walked inside this Lowe's, and you can see they've got a bunch of 10-inch planters of different types of Calatheas. We've got another cistus discolor right over there, a tractor seat plant. All of these plants I would love to be able to grow in my indoor space, but again, I have a pretty good size house, but it is really a matter of one, getting the the time and care for it, and then two, just making sure I have the right lighting conditions and just the amount of time to invest in my plants. I will say this new homemade spray that I've been using on my plants have been keeping pests away and keeping my leaves super shiny and healthy looking. I did want to thank Mari, the owner of Cultivar Texas. It's a rare plant shop, for giving me that recipe. So it's basically a water bottle, water, 2 tablespoons of alcohol, 1 tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide, 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil. Shake it up and spray it on your plants and you're good to go. But you can see right here, we've got another Pachira aquatica, nice looking one. This money tree is definitely another plant I would love to add to my collection. I've been talking about getting the variegated version. And here we've got another Tibatib or Epipremnum pinnatum, dragon's tail, Calathea macuyana, and also Calathea orbifolia right there. Would love to get a large Calathea orbifolia, it's so gorgeous. And then we've got another Cissus discolor right here. So, this was a little quick trip to North Houston, and, Conroe is about 45 minutes away from downtown Houston, but you can see they've got so many plants here. Truthfully, the plants that I've seen so far in the Houston area, at least the big box stores, are a little bit more full than the ones in North Dallas. Not sure if they just get their plants sourced out, and you can see my favorite blooming plants, azaleas, just because I love the Japanese garden aesthetics, and when you think about azaleas, it's definitely very Japanese. My indoor azaleas are doing okay. I didn't water them, and so the leaves started to fall and get droopy, as well as the bloom. So what I've realized is with indoor azaleas, you've got to make sure that you keep their soil moist and don't let them ever dry out. But you can see here, lots and lots of beautiful plants, and I am excited to keep showing you guys some other locations that I've shopped. Gorgeous looking variegated ginger. We've got some more plants here, and it looks like we've got some more tractor seat plants. I would be interested to see if they have a variegated version of the tractor seat. And we've got a bunch of ferns here, more plants, tropical plant planters, flowering plants, and then the gorgeous hydrangeas. Hydrangeas do very well in North Houston just because the soil is more acidic naturally with all the pine trees. And right over here, we are going to be checking out this big box store plant shopping video from Corsicana, Texas, the Home Depot there. So on my way back to North Dallas, I actually stopped by this Home Depot just to see what this Home Depot might offer. It is on the outskirts of Dallas, and it's one that's more of a small town. I would say Huntsville, Texas had a really good selection. So we'll see if this place has it. I didn't really see any really good plants with indoor, so we're going to check out the outdoor section to see if they have any plants. Now, when I visited this Home Depot out in Corsicana, Texas, it was early in the morning. It was about 7:30, so I was glad that there weren't a lot of people shopping. It was a little bit easier for me to do plant shopping videos. So right off the bat, we have a bunch of Vigoro hanging baskets. It looks like this is a fairly stocked outdoor section for this Home Depot. So I'm going to show you just a couple of plants. First one up is the Monstera deliciosa. This one is in a hanging basket by Vigoro. These actually look like much better looking Monstera Adansonia, I apologize, hanging baskets that I've seen. This one actually looks like they're using the wide form version of the Monstera Adansonia. I prefer the wide form versus the narrow form. And there's a bunch of them here for $19.98. I am in the hunt to get a variegated Monstera Adansonii. At some point, hopefully I will get one soon. And then here we've got an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos for $19.98. Not a bad looking Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Definitely love the neon leaves of the neon pothos. And for those who are starting to grow houseplants indoors, you definitely want to consider getting a pothos plant. Any type of pothos is very easy to take care of. It's really difficult to kill them unless you either water them too much, and even then they are a little bit more forgiving with the watering. And you can see right here, we've got a beautiful philodendron heteroecium Brazil. You know, these philodendron heteroeciums, they've got so many different types of varieties in terms of the variegation, but the philodendron heteroecium Brazil is a classic one. I would also say that is another easy beginner plant that everybody should grow in their houseplant collection. I haven't really seen these offered. These are for $17.98. These assorted hibiscus out in North Dallas. So it's really nice to see that this Home Depot has a bunch of plants right over here for hibiscus. Really love hibiscus as well. They remind me of my homeland, the Philippines. In the Philippines, we call hibiscus gomamela. And look at this hibiscus right over here. This is a gorgeous looking one, a pink one. Now, I actually found a bunch of like really fancy hibiscus on the Green Escapes Etsy shop. I might consider getting a bunch of those starter plugs, but we will see. You know, hibiscus are a little bit more challenging to grow, at least in the North Dallas area, just because you aren't able to really plant them in your landscape because we get frost and it just gets very cold in the winter. So you have to put them in planters and overwinter them, you know, inside. Right over here, we've got another Alocasia. This is an Alocasia California, nice looking Alocasia. I love the broad and just round leaves that it has. And then we have a ton of ferns. So I've always wondered why there were so many ferns available. Like, I'm not sure if people just grow ferns or if there's a high demand. It's kind of the same thing with bromeliads. Whenever I go to a big box store, you'll see them, ferns and bromeliads everywhere. And then here is another fixture of hanging baskets, tons of assorted hanging baskets by Vigoro. So here is another gorgeous looking Philodendron heteroecium Brazil. Surprisingly, I do not have a hanging basket of Philodendron heteroecium Brazil. That is probably another plant that I will eventually grow. My back patio actually is conducive to being able to hang a bunch of hanging baskets this year. So we are gonna see about doing that. And then right over here, we've got an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This is a nice looking one. It's already trailing. You can see some of the aerial roots, so those would be easy to propagate. These are all for $19.98. And we've got some more Philodendron heteroecium Brazils right over here for $19.98. So, you know, care tips for Philodendron heteroecium. You definitely want to give these plants bright indirect light. They can tolerate lower light conditions. The only thing is, whenever you say that they can tolerate lower light conditions, the plants won't be as full, their growth will slow down, and they may end up getting leggy. So yes, they can grow in lower light conditions, but to remember, you are going to be stunting their growth. All plants love bright indirect light, and you'll get the best you know, growth rate if you do that. This is a beautiful full Syngonium Maria for $19.98. Love me some Syngoniums. You know, Syngoniums was like my favorite plant. They might end up becoming my favorite plant again, just because some of my Aglaonemas are being slightly finicky. You know, Aglaonemas just take a minute to grow as well versus Syngoniums, where they can, they just literally get full and lush like that. So I really love that. And you can see that there is some more Philodendron heteroecium Brazils. It's already trailing, so they'd be fun to propagate. And let's just take a look at all the other plants that they have right over here. We've got some more Alocasia Californias, and we'll just kind of, you know, peep at all the other plants that we have available in this section. Gotta love the Aglaonema Silver Bay. This one is for $14.98 by Vigoro. Again, I cannot stress you guys enough how beautiful an Aglaonema Silver Bay would be for anybody's house plant collection. These can get very large as well, and their care is very easy. Just make sure you are not overwatering them. And then we've got a bunch of golden pothos right over here. This is probably the beginner plant for everybody. I know that I started out my plant journey as getting one of these golden pothos. They're very very easy to grow. Now, the thing about golden pothos is their variegation actually is influenced by the amount of light you can give it. You can actually sun stress it. So look at this. This is overwatered. This is what I do whenever I go to a big box store. I kind of dump all the water out, just that way it prevents the plants from like root rotting. But golden pothos are very easy to take care of. They're easy to propagate. I will do a video clip of how to propagate a golden pothos at some point. And then we've got a bunch of cordyline Hawaiian tea plants, gorgeous looking ones. You'll get more pink out of the cordyline though if you just grow those in direct sunlight. And it looks like we've got a bunch of Nature's Way ceramic planters. So these are all for $8.98. We've got another Sansevieria or snake plant right over here. I actually don't really have a lot of snake plants in my collection anymore. I used to think that they were very easy to grow, but they actually can be a little bit challenging in terms of just the watering. Sometimes if you underwater it too much, they'll get dry rot and then they'll end up declining in health. And then here's another Hydra helix, guys. This English ivy right here. Really cute looking English ivy. I see that often. I like that green version. And look at the dark foliage of this Syngonium as well. We've got a bunch of Dracaena marginatas, more Calathea makoyanas right here. Look at how gorgeous that is. And I do like the natural shine of a Calathea. Now, I've discovered that growing Calatheas in hydroponics, which is basically growing a plant directly in water, no substrates or soil or anything, have made it much easier for me to grow. You don't have to water it because it's already in water. And in terms of it being, you know, in humidity, well, there's already ambient water around it. So it has done very well for me so far. And then we've got a bunch of other assorted plants here. So for this Home Depot, it is not bad at all. I would say that they've got a decent amount of plants. And you know, you go to Home Depot and you will find proven winners releases like this Philodendron Rojo Congo. That is another gorgeous looking philodendron. While some people might consider this philodendron a little common one or basic, it's another one that's easy to grow. Gorgeous looking Ficus umbellata right over here. I actually bought a Ficus umbellata and it's actually doing well for me. I thought that it would be really spider mite prone, but it hasn't really given me any issues. And then we've got some more Ficus elastica tanikis. Now, Ficus elastica tanikis definitely need a lot of bright indirect light to get the best variegation. And then we've got some more assorted Calatheas right over here. They've got some hydroponic plants, more tropical plants, crotons, hibiscus, mandevilla flowers. What else do we have here? And then we're just gonna walk over into the more like outdoor gardening section and see if they've got some tropicals as well. Right over here, we've got another Hydra helix, guys. Gotta love that Hydra helix or Hedera helix. This English ivy has some gorgeous variegation. So happy that I've been able to grow my Hedera helix. Two that I have in my plant collection have not gotten spider mites. They're doing very well. They're growing at a steady rate and I'm excited. I think the trick is to make sure that I'm also constantly spraying them with neem oil and not overwatering them. And you can see right over here, we've got some more mandevilla flowering plants on a trellis. Those are really nice looking. I've seen a lot of those. Not so interested in it just because I feel like this plant would definitely not be able to survive our winters out in North Dallas. But look at these croton mames. These are for $19.98. For some reason, I am into crotons, even though crotons are very finicky plants. Like I had one literally drop all of its leaves. I'm still waiting for it to recover and come back. So I'm, you know, patiently waiting to see if that will happen. And then we have the typical or basic croton petras. With crotons, the more light you give it, the better coloration and variegation. So grow it in full sun. You will be excited and happy to see what kind of results you get from a croton by just growing them in full sun. They make great patio plants. They make good planters to just put out in your landscape. And then we've got a dwarf Zora. I think that's how you pronounce it. These are the Western jasmine, or that's what they're called. Look at how cool the flowers are. It's another plant that I don't think you could really successfully grow indoors, but plant foldies or those that are watching the live premiere chats, let me know in the comments if you can grow this successfully. And then obviously we've got some gardenias right over here. I'm actually looking for a variegated version of the gardenia. I think that would be cool. I definitely want to grow gardenia in my landscape. It's just a matter of getting the shade that I need. Right now, I have a lot of full sun coverage. I don't have enough like large canopy trees to take care of that. And I did want to show you guys this. So this is the first time I've ever seen a shrimp plant. So look at that. That is such a cool looking plant right there. And that's why it's called a shrimp plant. They kind of look like shrimp, you know, like the shrimp tails. Look at that. Those I would assume are the blooms. I've never grown a shrimp plant. Don't know what the care conditions are. So for those who know, please let me know in the comments what the care tips are. But yeah, I just want to pan over here and just show you, you know, the plants that they have at the Corsicana, Texas Home Depot. So I am back in North Dallas, and so we're going to go big box store plant shopping at the Lowe's off of McKinney, Texas, off of Highway 121. This is a Lowe's that I often visit. This is a Lowe's that often gets restocked. So we're going to see late afternoon what kind of plants that they have here, if there's a new plant finds. I do love this Lowe's a lot, and you can see that this Lowe's is also getting full. I did speak to the staff when I filmed this, and they said that they will even get more plants as March progresses into April. You can see that there is this hanging basket of a strawberry plant, and we've got a bunch of hibiscus right over here, some tropical plants outside. I love doing, you know, plant shopping videos, not necessarily to go plant shopping, but really just to look at plants. You know, part of my purpose of actually having, you know, these plant shopping videos is just to show you guys plants. I didn't realize that a lot of my viewers may not necessarily have the same type of like diversity of plants. So I'm hoping that you guys are still enjoying all of these plant videos of mine. You can see there we had some alocaceas. We've got some more alocaceas right over here. You can actually grow elephant ears or alocacea in your landscape if you live out in North Dallas. Just know that the plant will die back, but you know, come, you know, like late spring, early summer, they will come back. They are perennial, so I think that's really cool. Same thing with caladiums. Gorgeous looking alocaceas, even if it's just a green version. I really just like looking at that. You know, there's nothing wrong with appreciating green plants. I think oftentimes we look for the variegated version, me included. I would say that I'm a little bit of a variegation snob, but when you slow down and look at just the green on foliage, there's a level of tranquility and peacefulness you get with just looking at plants. Here we've got a bougainvillea right over here. Really like bougainvilleas. I remember going to Carmel by the Sea in California, and they had walls and walls of bougainvillea blooms. It was just amazing. And we've got variegated ginger right here. I didn't have the best luck trying to grow this indoors. I thought that the variegation was amazing, but unfortunately, they really need to be growing outdoors. They are spider mite prone, and they need a lot of bright indirect light, more so like full sun to really thrive. But needless to say, what a gorgeous looking plant. I love the variegation as well. And right over here, we've got some more Croton Petras. These ones are for $19.98. I swear crotons are available everywhere. I always thought that crotons were more of like a fall plant because you see a lot of crotons, but I didn't realize that they're actually available year round. I am gonna see if I can grow my Croton Magnificent successfully. I am growing it in full sun out in North Dallas, you know, and we'll see if that'll grow. But crotons definitely like to be in a lot of light, and they don't like to be overwatered. And then right over here, we've got another Maui Red Zora plant. Really nice looking tropical plant. Again, I think that's one of those plants that you can only grow in a planter and not out in the landscape, especially if you live out in North Dallas. And I love pansies, although I feel like pansies, the season for them are slowly going away just because they can't really tolerate hot conditions. They tend to grow, you know, people tend to grow them during the winter months. or even fall months, because they can tolerate lower, like lower temperature conditions. But what I like about these pansies are, look at that. I love the purple and yellow. And encore azaleas. I've been featuring a lot of encore azaleas because I love azaleas. I think that they are my favorite flowering bush. I just haven't had the best luck growing azaleas. Now, for those who have, let me know your care tips about like encore azaleas or just azaleas in general. When I go to Japan, I would love to be able to like see all of those Japanese gardens with azaleas. And over here, we've got some knockout roses. I used to grow knockout roses, very easy to grow. These roses grow so vigorously and produce so many blooms. Roses are a little bit more challenging just because they can get like pests and diseases, so you have to like really stay on top of that. They don't like to be top watered, so you don't want to get their leaves wet, and they like full sun. We've got some gardenias right over here. This one is a more petite gardenia. So I'm starting, as I'm looking at gardenias, I'm starting to see if I can find some online that are variegated. I might try to get that. And then we've got some ligustrum sunshines. Gorgeous looking ligustrum, definitely would light up any space. That one does need partial shade. And we've got some more gardenias right over here. Actually, there's a lot of gardenias available at Lowe's. With gardenias, they do require more, acidic soil. Just so keep that in mind when you are growing gardenias. They are good companion plants for like azaleas because of the soil types. And then right over here, I do find this shrub, the olive martini elegantness, I guess how you pronounce it, just because of the variegation. I do like the variegation is on the actual like border of the leaves. Really nice looking plant. And then we've got some more shrubs right over here. I have been featuring different plants, especially outdoor plants, since maybe some of you guys are more into gardening outdoors. So for my plant foldies or my viewers, I do hope that you guys like the diversity of plants. I'm trying to do more than just house plants, just because I feel like that will grow our community. And you can see we've got some more flowering plants right over here. I would say Monstera plants though are typically a little bit more pricey than most growers, but they do have high quality, healthy plants. So I can't really blame them. This is a plant I wish I could grow indoors. This is a Mr. Goldstrike Akuba by Monstera. They remind me of a croton actually, but look at how cool that is. I don't know the care tips for it. I would love to be able to actually grow that in my outdoor space. So we'll see. And we've got a bunch of boxwoods right over here. Nice looking boxwood right over here. And we've got some ground covered junipers. So that's what I like about, going to Lowe's or a big box store, is you can see the indoor tropical plants. But then if you are also into gardening outside and doing landscaping like me, you'll be able to like find other plants. So we're just going to keep looking at some of these outdoor plants. And then I'm going to go walk into the indoor section of this Lowe's and show you some more plants right here. You can see that this one is another Calathea. This is a Calathea medallion. Really like the look of this Calathea. Definitely looks very nice. There is some of that veining. And this one is for $15.98. And I love the purple undersides. Again, Calathea need high humidity. They don't like to be watered with tap water. So if you can give them like distilled water or purified water, you will prevent them from getting browning on the leaves. And then over here, we've got some bird's nest fern by Costa Farms. Again, these are all in self-watering planters for $15.98. I want to know actually, where do you get your plants if you go to a big box store? Plant foldies, let me know in the comments if you buy them mostly at Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart. Those are the main 3 big box stores I go shopping at, but I'm curious to see where you get the majority of your house plants. And then right over here, we've got a Bettina Hydra Helix, or English ivy. This one is a nice looking ivy that I actually have in my home growing. And so this little section here, we've got a lot of overflow of plants. So these are plants that they may not have been able to like fit into their shelves and their fixtures. I will say the best looking Lowe's that I've seen in terms of presentation would be the Austin, Texas Lowe's that I visited. So if you haven't gotten a chance, please watch that video. It's under my big box store plant shopping playlist, and you will see what I mean. But look at this. This is a cool looking cactus kokedama. That is actually pretty cool. I really like that a lot. And then we're just gonna look at some of these bromeliads. Again, bromeliads are plants that we often see at big box stores. And we'll just take a look at some more of these plants right here. We've got a hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one is for $20.98. It's a nice full plant of pothos. You can actually take a bunch of cuttings and propagate it in water and you'll have some more plants. And then we've got a Ficus pumila right over here. Nice looking one. I like the variegation. I do like the texture of the leaves. I don't really have plants that are that like small in foliage though growing in my houseplant collection. I tend to have bigger foliage plants. It's just kind of my preference, but that is a gorgeous looking hanging basket. This would require a little bit more bright light though since it is a ficus. And we've got some more plants right over here. See what other plants that they have here. So this one looks like a marble queen pothos, Epipremnum aurea marble queen pothos. Yep, this one's actually labeled. So we've been seeing some Epipremnum aureum snow queen pothos, but you notice right over here, this one isn't as variegated as a snow queen pothos. Needless to say, it's a gorgeous looking plant. This little hanging basket here is for $16.98 by Costa Farm. So I do love these hanging baskets. I think it'll be a lot of fun to hang a bunch of these hanging baskets in my back patio. I've started to bring some of my plants out from the garage over the winter, so hopefully they will recover and grow back again. Some of them took a beating, and you can see we got some more hanging baskets of some golden pothos right over here. I would highly recommend anybody that is going to buy plants, start out with the golden pothos and see how you like it. It is an easy plant, and I do think that it's a beautiful plant as well. And then right over here, we've got some beautiful looking strawberry begonias. I wanted to get a strawberry begonia, but I ended up getting the variegated strawberry begonia. So I'm hoping that I can get that 2-inch planter of strawberry begonia to grow as lush and full as that. And then we've got some rainbow moss here. I know earlier this year when I started doing plant shopping videos, there was a lot of rainbow moss hanging baskets available. Those may be a little bit more difficult to grow. I don't really know a lot of people that grow rainbow moss, but let me know the care tips or if you are growing it. And then I do love this Peperomia serpens. Peperomia plants remind me, they're almost like succulent as well in terms of their leaf texture. But you can see we've got, you know, some plants here. I would say that this Lowe's could get more plants, but there is quite a bit of plants. Nice looking healthy plants. Like this one right here is another Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Nice looking one for $20.98. I did want to get one of these hanging baskets, so I might eventually get one. Not sure if I'll get it at a big box store or maybe at Callaway's, which is another local plant nursery store out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They have a really good return policy, so if your plant dies or doesn't do well, you can always return it. And then right over here, we've got a Montana fern. Look at that. Look at that Montana fern. I like the look of it as well. Nice looking plant, and you know, it's one that, you know, ferns are just readily available to be purchased. Not sure why they are so readily available. I'm not as interested in growing ferns. Maybe it's just because I killed my maidenhair fern, so I'm just a little bit afraid about growing them, and they don't really offer as much like variegation or things of that nature. And then right over here, we've got some bonsai. This one is for $29.98. So for those who don't know what bonsai are, it's basically the art of growing and shaping a tree into a small shallow pot. I recently made a bonsai using a variegated jade, but you can see that this one right here is an Ulma pulvis bonsai or a Chinese elm bonsai. This one needs a little bit of help. I would totally rescue it, but I don't want to pay $30 for it. Now, if it was like on clearance, I might consider it. And then we've got some Scheffleras here, some Schefflera moon drops. Those are really nice. I like the fact that it's got more compact foliage, so that's nice to look at as well. And what else do we have going on right over here? We've got some more variegated succulent. This one's a nice little hanging basket. We often see this at a big box store actually. As you can see, there's just tons and tons of plants. We've got a bunch of Calatheas, we've got some bird of paradise, we've got a bunch of just, you know, Costa Farms exotic angel plants right over here, some starter plants. You know, there's a lot to choose from. It's typically the same trays that we have, so I may not go into detail on a lot, but check this out. Another plant find, and I'm gonna buy this one. This is a Epiprimnum aureum, Yesenia pothos. Look at the variegation of this. There is a little bit of damage on the leaves, but I can look past that. You can trim that. Now with Yesenia pothos, the variegation is a little bit more unstable. It can revert back on you, but I love that this is a nice looking Yesenia pothos. I like that variegation. I don't even know how to describe it, but this one is actually on clearance, so I will be able to get this for a really good price. I will take care of it and hopefully take some cuttings, maybe do like a pothos. Actually, I have so many different types of pothos. I'm thinking of maybe doing like a mixed pothos, but let me know what you guys think about the Yesenia pothos. I ended up getting one already, but I'm gonna get that one as well. I'm just gonna walk around and just kind of show you guys a little bit more of these plants that are available here. It's kind of hard to get them back up there, but you can see there are a bunch of hanging baskets, and I am loving all of the plants that I've been seeing so far. And you can see right over here, we've got some more Palea plants. This one is a Palea Dark Mystery plant. I am wanting to get that as well. Actually, all of my Palea plants are doing very well for me. I just recently cut back my Palea aluminum plant just because I want to try to get more, I guess just more, just to get it a little bit more bushy is what I'm trying to say. So cutting them back, they can get a little bit leggy, but if you cut them back, they'll get a little bit more bushy. So that's what I'm doing. And my other Palea, Pan Am, is doing absolutely well in my care. Just to know that, you know, Palea plants don't like to dry out completely, so just make sure that their soil remains moist. And we've got some more plants right over here. Another purple waffle plant. I think out of all the waffle plants, the purple waffle plant is the most sturdy. And then I've been looking at this variegated peperomia teardrop plant for quite a while. Every time I go to like a local plant nursery, a big box store like Lowe's, I see these, and like if this one was on like clearance or marked down for like 50% off, I would buy this one as well. Look at how nice and full it is. The other side isn't as full, but I don't mind that as well. You know, it kind of gives it some character that it's mostly heavy on the other side. And then we've got some more plants here. We've got some Hydra Helix, some more English ivy, and we've got some more ferns here. One thing I will show you is this. Look at how gorgeous this is. This is just a regular peperomia teardrop. This isn't the variegated form, but look at how shiny the leaves are. They've got this like satin gloss finish on the plants. I haven't had any issues with my peperomia ginny, so I might end up adding these to my collection. Again, I have so many plants that I've gotten in my collection, so I just really have to slow down and really make sure that I can take care of my plants. Some of them are already stressing me out because I've underwatered a couple, I've overwatered a couple, some have some pest, and so, you know, that's part of the plant care journey, I would suppose, is just making sure that you have the time for the plants. And I don't want to get discouraged, but at the same time, it's so challenging to go to a big box store like this and not want to buy up all the plants. Let me know in the comments, plant foldies, if you also struggle with that, like if you just want to hoard plants. I'm trying not to, but I'm already seeing signs that I am, because I have some plants that I have to like, you know, repot or do something in terms of the styling. So we'll see what that is. And that's the reason why I haven't done a houseplant home tour yet, because I want to get my home and a really nice quality video to show you that. You know, my vision for my home tour plant collection is to give you guys more of a stylistic design approach versus just showing you my plants. Now this is cool. an urban jungle hanging basket of philodendron brandtianums. Gotta love some philodendron brandtianums. That metallic silvery shine is gorgeous. And what else do we have here? We've got a Phalaenopsis orchid, and we've got another cool hanging basket full of Epipremnum aria mandula pothos. You gotta love some Epipremnum aria mandula pothos. Very nice looking pothos for sure. Another easy pothos to take care of. It is a little bit slower growing, but you know, I've seen a Yesenia pothos here and now a mandula pothos. So I know that there's some people that are looking for, you know, mandula pothos. This one is for $13.98 in a urban jungle ceramic planter. Nice looking one. And let's see what other hanging baskets they have of plants. This one is an Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue pothos. Really like the look of this as well. You know, Cebu blue pothos, I love the silvery leaves that it has, and it's a very vigorous grower, very easy to propagate as well. So we definitely need to make sure that, you know, we get that into our houseplant collections. I've got one large hanging basket of it, and then I've got another small one hanging in my kitchen, just right next to my kitchen window. And we've got some more Phalaenopsis orchids right over here. And then here is another cool looking hanging basket. I would say this is an Epipremnum Arium lemon meringue pothos, just because of the yellow leaves, and it's got smaller leaves. I would call this a global green, but global green tends to have larger foliage. Nice looking hanging basket set. So we've got a, you know, a lemon meringue pothos, a Cebu blue pothos. We've got a mandula pothos and a a philodendron brandtianums. These are really cool. I do like that urban jungle has some diverse hanging baskets. That's a nice set of hanging baskets that you can have in your collection. And then this one right here, I've been seeing this a lot as well. Not really sure what the plant care tips are for this japonica, but it is a nice looking plant. I don't really typically get plants that have such small foliage, though. I tend to steer away from that. It's just not really the look I'm looking for in my plant collection. You know, typically I won't lie, I like more like aeroids and like philodendron type plants, but you know, those are, you know, there's a plant for everybody. And then over here we've got a bunch of orchids, and then we're looking at this beautiful I would tell you this is probably a another marble queen pothos, but it does look like a snow queen pothos. You could just see that the variegation isn't really a cream one. It's more of a white variegation, so I'm not 100% sure. Needless to say, what a gorgeous looking plant. What an easy to care for plant. It's another plant that I would suggest anybody who wants to like start growing house plants to start out with the pothos. I can't stress to you guys enough how easy that is. Let me know in the comments, my plant foldies, if you guys have pothos. I love pothos, and I also love anthuriums. Blooming anthuriums are great. They're easy to care for, and you know, I can't get enough of them. I've converted to anthuriums, blooming anthuriums in hydroponics, and they are doing absolutely well in my care. I am loving hydroponics, not even semi-hydroponics, like straight water to grow these plants. And then look, I found this again. It is a twisted lipstick plant. I remember finding this a couple weeks back at this particular Lowe's, so it's cool that I saw this again. I'm not sure if I would buy this plant particularly. I am interested in getting some lipstick plants. I do find that the texture is kind of cool, but I don't know stylistically where I would place that in my home. And then we've got some more fern here. Actually, this black rabbit's foot fern I've been seeing a lot. So this one is by Urban Jungle in a hanging basket. Not sure if I would actually grow a fern like this, but if I am going to add a fern, it's probably going to be this one, because I tend to see this. And so, you know, plant foldies that actually grow ferns, let me know if that is an easy to care for plant. I am a little bit weary about ferns just because of the humidity requirements. And then we're going to take a look at this. Look at this beautiful Diphyllombacea maculata. And then we've got some more bird of paradise right over here. This one I would say is an Epipremnum Arium Snow Queen pothos. You can see how highly variegated this is. Really like the look of this plant. I have gotten one already, so I'm super excited that I ended up getting that. But the fact that the matter is, like, it's nice to see this plant. It's being labeled as a marble queen pothos, but I can tell you that it doesn't look like a marble queen pothos. I really think that it's a snow queen pothos, just gets more variegated than the marble queen. But you know, I would have bought this plant as well, but I don't really want to spend like $16.98 for it. I feel like I can find it somewhere else for a little bit less. And I've already gotten a snow queen pothos, so you know, like, I could just wait for it to grow and propagate from it. I do like that, you know, these plants are more readily available now that it's spring 2024. I just want to admire the plants. Hopefully you guys are liking these plant shopping videos. Again, I do daily plant shopping videos to show you plants that you probably have seen in many of my videos, but I love talking about them. I still need to know, guys, what this Aglaonema is. I love this Aglaonema. I love the white stems on this Aglaonema. I just don't know the plant ID for it. So let me know in the comments if you guys know what that Aglaonema plant ID is. I would really appreciate it. But let's just pan over here and just look at these plants again. So my final destination for my plant shopping video today is going to be the H-E-B in McKinney, Texas. So the H-E-B is a local Texas grocery store that is actually starting to pop up a lot in Dallas. And I did hear from a birdie that they did have some Monstera constellations available. Again, these are for $55.98. These are by Max and Miles Plants, but look at how healthy these Monstera constellations are. I definitely wanted to show you guys this specifically for the local plant foldies or my subscribers that are out in the North Dallas area. I promised you guys that I would, you know, give you guys an update if there's some more Monstera constellations. For some reason, the McKinney H-E-B, which is right off of Custer Road, tends to get Monstera constellations, and these are actually a better deal for me because of how high quality the variegation is, how healthy the plants are. And Max and Miles, which is basically the plants supplier for H-E-B grocery stores, have some really good quality plants. They have some great philodendron pink princess. I did want to show you guys just the different kinds of Monstera constellations. Let me know in the comments if you've gotten a Monstera constellation, how it is going for you. But you know, I'm going to be ending this video. I know that I've showed you guys several different locations. I travel a lot for these plant videos just because I want to make sure that I'm showing you different locations and they're not always the same ones. But yes, I can't get over the fact that these Monstera constellations are looking so good. Look at that new leaf right there about to come out and unfurl for $55.98. Not a bad price at all. I wish they didn't have them in ceramic planters. Maybe they can sell them for a little bit less, and this one's already started to fenestrate. I might end up getting a Monstera constellation at some point, even though I have a mature version. I mean, you can't get enough of them, right? I would just need to find like a really cool looking variegated one. H-E-B again is one of my go-to places to go plant shop just because they've got a lot of plants. Like, look at this variegation here. That's absolutely stunning. So plant foldies, hopefully you guys are liking my big box videos. Again, I know I've been doing a lot of local plant shopping videos. Those videos don't get nearly as many views as my big box stores, but hopefully you guys are liking the different types of content I am producing. I have so many more videos that I have planned for, so let me know in the comments what else you want to see, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be local store plant shopping at Callaway's Nursery off of 121 in Custer in Plano, Texas. Please make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe. Callaway's is a local plant nursery chain in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am based out in North Dallas, so for all of those that are new to the channel, welcome. And for all of my plant foldies, which is what I call my viewers and subscribers, welcome to this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. As you guys can see, there are a lot of new plants at Callaway's. I love going to several locations of Callaway's just because they always have something new. You can see they've got a display of air plants right over here. here. And spring is has come. Spring is on day 14, and I'm very excited to show you the huge shipment of plants that they've gotten for the indoor tropicals as well as the outdoor landscape. And you can see that they still have a bunch of these plants, like the overflow of carts. Love the the flowering plants that they have right over here. They've got some Riger begonias right over here. Love some Riger begonias. You can see how gorgeous the blooms are, and you can see that the price there is not a bad price at all. I haven't gotten a Riger begonia. I am growing some wax begonias, which are typically meant to grow outside, but look at how gorgeous these blooms are right over here. This one is with white blooms and then just pink edging. You can see that it does have like a wax begonia type look about it. And for those that have grown Riger begonias, please let me know in the comments or even in a live premiere chat what the care tips are. But let's just admire all of these blooming plants here. And you can see there's some gorgeous looking African violets here. Love African violets. You know, my grandmother grew a bunch of African violets when I was growing up, and so I've always been around them. These ones don't have the variegated leaves. I have one African violet, but I love the purple undersides of this particular African violet. Now, the trick is with African violet, they do require a lot of bright indirect light. If you can grow them near a windowsill, that would be awesome, but never, never, never get their stems or their leaves wet. It's not good for them. They will actually they will just get soggy and eventually just die. So you want to make sure that whenever you're growing African violets that you are bottom watering them and not top watering them. Look at this gorgeous Monstera constellation here. These ones are for $249.99. This one's already a semi-mature Monstera constellation, and it's just really cool to see that Monstera constellations are readily available. And then we can take a look at some more of these African violets right over here. This one has some more darker foliage leaves, and then also the blooms are variegated as well. So really like that a lot. That one, let's see the price for this one right over here. This one is for $16.99 in a 6-inch planter. So if you want to get some nice African violets, I would say most local plant nurseries have them, and I would say that they probably have more healthier varieties versus going to a big box store. Again, most people who find my channel have found it because of the big box store plant shopping, but I do want to give you guys more varieties of plants. So I like to show local plant nurseries. So in case you go to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you will see some local plant nurseries. I'm a big advocate of supporting local businesses as well, even though, big box stores have some amazing plants as well, and also the pricing is great. I love pink plants, and you can see that this polka dot plants right over here. This one has some light pastel pink around it. The thing about this is, and then this one's not a bad price at all if you see that. Polka dot plants are a little bit more challenging. I think the watering is what gets me. Like, they don't want to get underwatered, otherwise they will get crispy and wrinkle. But if you overwater them, they will also die as well. So you just have to really figure out a consistent watering schedule for them. And then over here, we've got some more of these interesting looking plants. Some cryptanthus. Look at that. I like that. It almost looks like a cool version of a sansevieria or a snake plant. Really like the pattern and the variegation. And one of my favorite Tredscantias, this is a Tredscantia nanuk. I like Callaway's Tredscantia nanuks. These are only for $9.99, which is not bad at all because it's really nice and full. There's several plants in there. So, with Tredscantias, you got to watch out for them because they can get a little bit leggy. So I actually ended up buying a Tredscantia nanuk with the intent to propagate them. They're fairly easy to grow and they root very well. And then there's just so many other plants that we can take a look at. So let's just take a look at these. And you can see that they have some more cryptanthus right over here. This one is really cool for $19.99. I really like the look of this. It does remind me of like a snake plant, but look at this. This is a pink plant. And again, I love pink plants. I'm sure if you guys like pink plants. I love anything pink. And so, you know, these cryptanthus, I really like that as well. May add one to my collection at some point, but I don't really know all of their care conditions for it. So if you know anything about that, please make sure you are leaving that in the comment, as well as, you know, in the live premiere chats. And then we're going to be taking a look at a lot of bromeliads, assorted bromeliads. So obviously these are specific species. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just going to lump them in as a bromeliad. What I like about these bromeliads is they have such a nice look about them. Like this is for $24.99. All of these are in 6-inch planters. I like that they have different varieties of colors. This isn't typically the bromeliads you would see in like a big box store. And you can see right here, hanging baskets of Boston tiger stripe fern. These are variegated ferns. Nice looking Boston tiger stripe ferns. Again, with these ferns, this one is actually not a bad price at all for $24.99 in an 8-inch hanging basket. You know, I see a lot of ferns. They're readily available right now. I don't know if there's just a big demand for them, but if you like variegated ferns, the Boston tiger stripe fern is a really cool one to add into your collection. And then we're just going to look at all of these other bromeliads. You can see they've got different patterns, and I like the pink around it and just the striping. I'm not 100% sure how bromeliads grow, so if you know the care tips or would like to give some insights, as always, I always encourage our viewers that watch the channel to give their plant expertise. I love to learn from you guys as much as I like to give you guys my insights. Like, take a look at this one. I really like this because of the yellow, the bright yellow, the neon green color. These look like they were painted. Somebody might have taken some spray paint. So we're just going to sit here and admire bromeliads. Leave in the comments on the timestamp, like which bromeliad you might like. I'm really curious to see what you guys like here. I just love the pink on these bromeliads. It just really looks like somebody spray painted the leaves. You know, for these types of bromeliads, I would say you would need to go view them from the top view. I am thinking about possibly getting one of these bromeliads at some point, but you can see that Callaway's Nursery, this one particularly has a really good plant styling. They've got all of the bromeliads together, and you can see there's a Dieffenbachia camouflage as well. But I just like all of these bromeliads. Plant folies, let me know what you guys think, which one's your favorite. This one's an interesting one here with the stripes. These are for $24.99 again. And what I like about these bromeliads is these are the ones that you typically don't see at big box stores. I think for these type of bromeliads, you really have to go look for them at a local plant nursery. And that's the reason why I like showing you guys local plant nursery shopping, just because we will be able to see some more plants outside of what we normally see at big box stores. You can see this one has a little bit of water in the middle of it, but look at that. Stunning, you know, just coloration on it. So those who love pink plants, you know, bromeliads are the it plant as well for that. Although I would say not many plant, at least on YouTube or even like on Instagram, do I see a lot of plant bromeliad, you know, people growing bromeliads is what I'm trying to say. These ones are the typical bromeliads you will see at the big box store, but the ones right here is pretty awesome. And you can see this is a string of turtles hanging basket. Gotta love some string of turtles. And then that big Monstera constellation that we've seen when I've visited this plant nursery. But this Callaway's is super full. Like, look at this hanging basket of Anthurium claverinarium. Nice looking Anthurium here. The price is for $89.99. Actually, is it $89.99? Let's see. It is actually no, $59.99. Even a better price for that Anthurium. Now, I don't really grow Anthuriums in my collection except the blooming Anthuriums that I've got in hydroponics. So, I've been told that Anthuriums can be a little bit finicky. They need a little bit more high humidity and even a fan if you're going to grow them in a cabinet. I do like this Boston Fern Rita's Gold. This is one of these plants that I would add into my neon yellow plant collection. Love the yellow light foliage this particular plant has, and this is for $16.99. I might end up getting a fern. I mean, I see a lot of ferns. There's so many ferns, especially when I go to Callaway's nursery. So I might check that out. But look at these juvenile Monstera deliciosas. See, I like juvenile Monstera deliciosa leaves. And these are for $9.99 in a 4-inch starter planter. I might actually get one just so I could grow it in hydroponic, just because the roots are just busting out of these planters, these starter planters. But what I like about the juvenile Monstera deliciosa is just the heart-shaped leaves. I think those are really cool, and they grow upright. So instead of trailing like a Philodendron heteroraceum, that one grows upright. And then here we've got a holly fern. So we've got more ferns right over here. I like the shape of this fern particularly. It's different, and it almost reminds me of like a Hoya, at least the shape does. That's a nice looking fern. And what else do we have here? So they've got a couple more philodendrons. This one is a philodendron goldii. This one is for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. So I like that Callaway's also has, a lot of good indoor aeroids or indoor house plants, plus the outdoor gardening, which we will visit just because it is springtime. So I'm going to show you some of these outdoor landscape plants that you can put in your outdoor garden. But since Callaway's has a bunch of these plants here, I wanted to show you that. And we've been looking at some maidenhair fern. This one's for $6.99. I would love to grow a maidenhair fern, but I've had it in the past, and this one is a plant that is definitely thirsty, definitely needs a lot of high humidity. And I can get the humidity, it's just the thirsty part I can't necessarily get, because I do consider myself now more so an underwaterer. And I think it's because I end up being so busy with work, and now with YouTube and some other things, sometimes I neglect my plants based on just the underwatering. Some of my plants have actually kind of suffered with that, but I'm reeling it back in. And that's the thing about these plants. We go to a gorgeous looking plant nursery like this, and you can literally fill up an entire cart, but then realize that, do you actually have the time to water them, take care of them? So I talk about this often in many of my videos about just making sure you invest the time and have a reasonable amount of plants in your space where you're not overwhelmed with all of the plant chores. And then right over here, we are looking at some aglaonemas. This is an Aglaonema red Siam. So I love aglaonemas. This one is particularly super full of aglaonema plants right here. And with Aglaonema red Siam, it's probably one of the most common aglaonemas, probably the second most common aglaonema you will find anywhere, aside from the Aglaonema Silver Bay. Beautiful plant. This one is for $39.99. But you get so many aglaonemas. You can actually separate these and get several plants if you like, or if you want to keep it in a planter like that and have a full one, that'd be awesome too. And look at this gorgeous looking Monstera. Look at that. Nice variegation. It's amazing that you can see Monstera Thai constellations readily available. I mean, the pricing is slightly expensive, but not as compared to 3 to 4 years ago when they were in the hundreds of dollars. Now you can buy, 6-inch planted ones for I would say $89.99. At least this is the nursery that sells it. And in here we've seen an Aglaonema BJ Friedman. So this one I actually like because I actually like the silver foliage, and then it's got some unique variegation on it. I'm glad that I was able to get one, but that one you don't typically see at big box stores anymore. So it's good that they've released a couple of these Aglaonema BJ Friedmans, as well as Aglaonema Silver Bay. So I'm actually tempted to get a larger Aglaonema Silver Bay. I got one from Home Depot, but it's not growing as fast as I want it, and I really want the large foliage leaves for the Aglaonema Silver Bay. I think that would be awesome. And these ones are not a bad price at all. These are for $16.99. And then I wanted to show you the bottom view of the Monstera constellation. Look at that variegation. And then the fenestrations are amazing. I just like going to Callaway's. And mind you, I didn't buy a single plant during this plant haul, so that was really good restraint for me. I just wanted to go show you guys all of the new plants that they've gotten since spring has started. They've got some more large foliage plants here of some Aglaonema Silver Bay. And the surprising thing is these plants can get even larger. Aglaonema are a little bit more slow in growth in terms of just how fast they can grow, but you know, they're very rewarding in the sense that they can tolerate lower light conditions. So lower light conditions, and if you're an underwaterer like me, they will be forgiving in terms of underwatering. You actually don't want to overwater an Aglaonema just because their roots could rot and they start to get leggy and start to drop their leaves when they're not happy. So, you know, just a couple of tips on that. This one, I love the white stems. This one is an Aglaonema White Rain. I ended up getting a White Rain Aglaonema actually at Lowe's, and then we've got a Ficus elastica burgundy here. Beautiful looking rubber tree plant. And I would say for these Aglaonema to be sold for $16.99 in 6-inch planters like this Aglaonema Juliet, I would totally buy them, and I think I am going to go add a couple of more in my collection. Over the weekend, I will be working on my plant room where I have some cabinets and some shelves that I'm going to get my plants together. I just feel like there were so many plants being put into my living room and just random spaces that I feel like an area where I can just have a plant sanctuary is going to work out for me, and then I can actually inspect my plants and make sure that they're all taken care of. And then this is a Dieffenbachia maculata. This is a smaller version. You often see that at a big box store in larger sizes like this. Gorgeous looking Dieffenbachia camouflage. The thing about Dieffenbachia, I'm still debating on whether I should grow one in my collection because they're basically the opposite of an Aglaonema. They don't really do well in lower light conditions. They definitely are a little bit more spider mite prone, but they're actually faster growing in growth rates. So that's an interesting part. They do look very similar though in how their leaves look and even the variegation. But you can see there's so many Aglaonemas here. We've got an Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah. Now with all of these Aglaonemas that have like these gorgeous looking, coloration, variegation, and just patterns on their leaves, you definitely want to give them more bright indirect light for them to really max out on their coloration. Otherwise, they tend to be a little bit more green or their coloration isn't nearly as pronounced. So more light for these Aglaonema will get the gorgeous coloration that you would be wanting to look at. And we're going to go ahead and pan out over here again and take a look at these large Aglaonema Silver Bays. I want a large Aglaonema Silver Bay. I think it's such a classic plant, you know, the original Aglaonema that most people will see. And I did want to show you one of my favorite Ficus elastica. This is a Ficus elastica altissima. These are in the tree form where they basically cut the top of the plant and a bunch of branching came out, and you can see this is for $22.99. Not a bad price at all for a smaller plant. Now obviously these plants can get very large. They can get into full-size trees. Ficus elastica, or just any ficus in general, do require a lot of bright and direct light. I've grown my Ficus elastica in full sun in North Texas weather, and they do well for me. They actually thrive in, you know, a lot of light, and you can see, look at how these roots have just really taken over the pot. This one needs to get repotted soon. I have some more that I want to add in terms of that, and that is one of my, Ficus elastica that I want to add is the altissima. Love that green on green variegation, and you can see here another totem of Epiprenum pinnatum albo. But look at all of these plants. This nursery is full. I am so fortunate that this one is literally 10 minutes away from where I am based at. And then you can see here we've got another juvenile Monstera deliciosa. This one's for $16.99, but I love the heart-shaped leaves. I wish that there was a plant that would just stay that size. I guess you could keep it that size if you just keep trimming back the fenestrated leaves. And then obviously we've got these Monstera Thai constellations. This one is in a 6-inch planter for $89.99. So if you want a Monstera Thai constellation and you don't want to spend over $100, you can go to Callaway's and get a decent sized one. Now, I would say after seeing so many Monstera Thai constellations, you can be a little bit more picky in the variegation. Some are more highly variegated than others. I remember finding one here where like even the stems were pretty much white variegated. That was one plant that I thought I should have bought, but you know, again, it's one of those things where you can always find reasons to buy plants, right? Like you can go into a plant shop and be like, I need to buy this plant, or I need to you know, I should have bought this plant because of this. Either way, you know, these plants will get restocked. So eventually you will find the plant again. But this one right here, I will say, has some really nice variegation, very even variegation. You know, there's enough white speckling on this Thai constellation where it's nice. Sometimes if you get a highly variegated Monstera Thai constellation, you run into the risk of getting browning leaves like that one Monstera Thai constellation over there. And then now they have some 4-inch Monstera Thai constellations for $59.99. So if you don't want to spend quite a bit of money on the $89.99 version, you can just buy the $59.99 version. I did see a couple of posts that Home Depot in, I think, the Chicago area had some Monstera Thai constellations for like $39.99. So maybe Texas might get it. If they do, you already know I will get it on film and I may end up buying it. Here is a Ficus elastica ruby. Gorgeous looking Ficus elastica, but if you saw in my previous video where I do grocery store plant shopping, Trader Joe's has the best looking Ficus elastica, and that's the reason why I end up buying there. The variegation, the quality, and pricing is amazing. Like you can get a 6-inch planted Ficus elastica for $12.99 versus like the $22.99 you would pay here. And then here is a really interesting. So for $29.99, you can get a braided Ficus, Ficus triangularis variegata. So you can see they took several Ficus triangularis, braided it up, and then the plants fused to where they got a thicker trunk. So I talked about doing a bonsai tree using like a Ficus elastica or Ficus plant. And I think today is the day that I might end up actually buying one of these Ficus elastica, you know, Ficus triangularis variegatas, because I think it'd be interesting. Number one, because the leaves are already in smaller form. And then number two, there is a decent sized trunk and I could take wire to actually bend it a little bit more to give it shape. But there is already a natural canopy looking for it. And again, there is, you know, that interest of a variegated plant. So I might end up getting this as like pre-bonsai. The thing about Ficus, I keep saying elastica, Ficus triangularis, they are a very finicky plant. You can see that there are some leaves dropping. The thing about this plant is once you move it, it will drop its leaves. It really needs to stay in one spot. It likes to just be in consistent, you know, consistency. Now the other Ficus plants aren't as finicky. Now, Ficus benjamina is, but the triangularis is also one that will drop its leaves. And then we have a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids here. Love Phalaenopsis orchids. You see them everywhere, but let's just admire the beauty of their roots and also their bloom. Over here we've got some gorgeous looking Ficus shiverianas. Love me some Ficus shiverianas right here. I actually have one that I bought as a starter plug from Green Escapes in Etsy about 2 years ago, and it is such a slow growing Ficus elastica that you know, it's one of those things that I might end up just buying a larger one just for instant gratification. And then I just wanted to pan over here and show you guys all of the larger plants that they have. They've got a Ficus Audrey here. I have one that dropped all of its leaves because I ended up having to overwinter it and leave it in my garage with a grow light. There just wasn't enough light, and then on top of that, I kind of neglected it. The cool thing is I see so many new growth points that it is growing, so we will see if it'll become a full tree again for me. I ended up buying it as a $5 clearance plant out at Walmart about 3 years ago, and it has grown this large, actually that tall. So that's interesting, and I wanted to show you this. This is a philodendron green Congo, and while this might be a common like philodendron, look at how large the leaves are. Look at how shiny the leaves are. Really nice looking philodendron green Congo. They've got a Rojo Congo as well, but this one is not a bad price at all. And look at how thick the foliage and stems are. Now, if you have larger spaces like this where you can house that would be awesome. And then they've got a bunch of Schefflera plants here. Love that as well. I got a good deal at Home Depot for a variegated one. And we've got some more philodendron green Congos right over here. And you can see the price. Gotta love that. $59.99 for that is not a bad price at all. Huge philodendron green Congo. I don't know if anybody actually grows that in their houseplant collection. Let me know in your comments below, or even in the live premiere chat, as well as getting a mature form or more semi-mature form of this Monstera deliciosa. So you can get Monstera deliciosas like this at big box stores, but I would say the quality of the Monstera deliciosas at Callaway's are amazing. You don't really see a lot of leaf damage, and I can guarantee you they are probably going to be pest free, because local plant nurseries just have more time to really take care of the plants. I mean, you can even see right here, like I'm even tempted to get this Dieffenbachia camouflage. I've been seeing it a lot. The pricing isn't bad at all for this one. You can see right there. And I just like that light variegation. But look at this. This actually has some cool green, half moon looking leaves. Nice looking camouflage, Dieffenbachia. I just need to figure out my space where I can either get a grow light to grow directly over a Dieffenbachia, or just really make some space for my bright indirect light windows. And then right here we've got a string of frogs, which looks like an oak leaf ivy that I saw at the Great Outdoors, which is another local plant nursery out in Austin, Texas. Nice looking string of frogs. It's actually got a really cool texture. It's super cute. And this one is for $22.99, I believe. And we've got another string of frogs right over here. Look at that. Very nice looking little string of frogs. And then we've got some more large Aglaonema silver bays. So for those that have the large space, if you want an instant gratification plant where you don't have to grow it up, you can go to a local plant nursery like Callaway's. And I will say they have fair pricing for their large foliage plants. They get a lot sourced, and it's really interesting that they have so many plant nursery chains of Callaway's all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're ever visiting Dallas-Fort Worth and you want to look at plants and like a place where you can get good plants for decent prices, go to a Callaway's. I've always been a big Callaway's fan. Their staff is super friendly. They've got a good return policy, and then just the diversity of plants that they have is amazing. And you can see this table is about to get filled up, but I love this, lone Aglaonema silver bay here. You can see the price, not a bad price at all. Like, I might end up just getting one of these big Aglaonema silver bays and calling it a day. But again, I don't have the space in my home for that. And look at these large Majesty palms right over here. Huge Majesty palms. And I just want us to admire all of these water fixtures, all of these fountains. I'm actually thinking about getting one just to put in my back patio, but they are a little bit pricey, so I will zoom in on all of the pricing. But it's always nice to listen to water sounds. So we're just going to look at all of these fountains. Let me know in the comments what you think, or even in the live premiere chat, which would you add to your garden if you could get one today? then over here, we are approaching a large Ficus lyrata tree. It is literally a tree. They've pretty much trimmed it down to where it has a canopy. Love the large Ficus lyrata trees. This is also known as the fiddle fig leaf tree. Some people will say this is a finicky plant. Mine hasn't been so finicky. The trick is, and you can see, wow, the roots have like wrapped around. This is super root bound. The trick is with Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf is you need to find a bright space where it gets a lot of light and leave it there. It'll acclimate, and then just make sure that if you're watering it, that it is on a consistent watering schedule. You don't want to do it to where like you don't water it for several weeks and then you just give it water. That's when it will be unhappy and it'll drop its leaves. And you can see right here, we've got a bunch of Pachira aquatica braided plants. Now these are not a bad size at all for the price as well. I do like Pachira aquatica. It's one of those plants though that I am going to be saving to get a variegated version. I think that would be really cool. And then we've got a bunch of these bamboo plants right here. Some of them are braided, some of them are trained to be like in a spherical column. So I think those are really cool. You know, you would consider the Pachira aquatica and these bamboo plants as like feng shui type, like good luck plants. I don't really believe in good luck. I think it's more about what you make of your day, but these are nice looking plants, and bamboo are part of the Dracaena family, and so we're going to be looking at Dracaenas right here. I love Dracaenas as well. I don't think a lot of people grow enough Dracaenas in their homes. This one is the Dracaena white jewel. Look at that variegation, the white stripes, and then just the different colors that you have. I definitely want to get some larger Dracaenas, not too large, but one that's about a medium size. And the thing about Dracaena are they're very easy to care for plants. They can tolerate lower light conditions. They are a little bit moderate in their growth rate, but they can also tolerate being underwatered. You don't really want to overwater a Dracaena, otherwise it will die, just like any other plant. But if you don't go water them for a while, they can tolerate not being watered. And here you can see that this is a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta. These are for $8.99, so all of those Dracaenas are not a bad price at all. You can actually start your Dracaena collection by going to Callaway's if you're a local plant local plant foldy in the DFW. You can see these are Calatheas in 4-inch planters for $6.99. So I will be collecting these Calatheas and putting them in hydroponics. And for those again that don't know what hydroponics means, it's basically growing a plant in nothing but water. So I've been getting these little 3.5-inch, 4-inch glass bowls and putting them in water, and they've been doing amazing. And we're just going to pan it over here and admire the plants, and then we're going to be looking at all of the Hoyas as well. I will just show you the different types of Hoyas, but let's look at this Peperomia here, Peperonia Ginny. This is for $6.99. That is not a bad price again for Peperomia. This is one of the Peperomias I have. And then we've got some variegated Hoya carry-eyes. These are really cute as well. But let us admire all of these Hoyas. Now, I know that there are some Hoya heads out there, or the ones that really love Hoyas. So I will just pan over and show you guys the different Hoyas. And then you let me know what you think about the Hoyas that you see. Leave that in the comments. Leave it, in the live premiere chats if you're watching this live, and let me know. You can see right here, we've got some Hoya compactas for $19.99. That's a fairly expensive price, so I think you can get a better deal for a Hoya compacta. And then we've got some more Hoyas right here, a Hoya macrophylla. But yeah, let's just take a look at these, and then you let me know what you think. say the Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen is stunning. I love the white edges of the leaves and just how the variegation drops like that. This one is a really good looking hanging basket of Hoya Crimson Queen. So that's the thing about Hoyas. I want to find more Hoyas, but big box stores only typically carry like Hoya carnosa type Hoyas. But you know, if I run into more Hoyas, especially when I'm doing my plant shopping at local plant nurseries, I will make sure to take the time to show you guys that. I am becoming more of a Hoya fan as well. Like this one right here is a nice basket of Hoya Quintiana. This is super full and you can actually get some good sun stressing for these Hoyas. I really like that a lot, and I want to make sure that I can get some more Hoyas available for you. But Callaway's has a pretty good selection of Hoyas, and then also just plants in general. So if you're looking for a particular genus of plants or species of plants, you can find more you know, those plants right here. And then we've got some Rhapis palms right here. I do like Rhapis palms just because of the leaf shape. And if you really look in the background, look at how many plants they have. This nursery is super full. I also love the fact that they've got the plants super organized. You know, I could just sit here and not talk and really just admire the plants, but I do want to give you guys a little bit more plant commentary. Now with the Rhapis palms, if you haven't seen my Plant Keeper Incorporated nursery video, check that out because you'll see some huge ones, big trees of Rhapis palms. And then obviously you can't go to a plant shopping place and not see like a ponytail palm. This is super cute for $9.99. You see this often at big box stores. I didn't realize that ponytail palms were actually considered a succulent and not a palm. So it's always nice to learn from other plant viewers. And then we have some assorted palms right over here. I'm not as big of a palm plant just because palms do require a lot of bright indirect light. This one though is for $6.99. If you want a low light tolerant plant, a really good low light tolerant plant, get you a Spathiphyllum or Peace Lily. These are only for $6.99, and I get a lot of Canadian viewers, and I want to tell you that these plants actually that we're looking at are sourced from Canada. I couldn't believe that as well, but I really think that that's awesome that we get so many plants from Canada. These ones are, I don't know the particular variety. I know it has a different type of variegation. It's not a domino. So if you know the plant ID for this particular Peace Lily, please leave that in the comments. But that one's for $6.99. Not a bad price at all. And then obviously we are going to be looking at all of these Syngoniums right over here. Really like that as well. This one's a really full Syngonium plant. Not sure what the specific Syngonium is. Unfortunately, the Callaway doesn't have a lot of like plant IDs for their specific Syngoniums, but you know, nonetheless, I think that Syngoniums are such a underrated plant. There's a lot of underrated plants, and Syngoniums are another one. You would think that people would really go crazy over Syngoniums. They're easy to care for. You can grow them growing up a pole and you get larger leaves, or you can let them trail like this. You can see that these are starting to put out some more trailing Syngoniums, and they change their leaf shape and size as it matures. I like Syngoniums because there is a lot of varieties. They used to be my favorite plant. They might end up being my favorite plant if my Aglaonemas don't start acting right. But you can see this one is already root bound for $6.99. This would be a good candidate to put in a hydroponic situation, like growing this hydroponic. And for $6.99, I might experiment and buy a couple of these 4-inch Syngoniums. I think that it would take the guessing work of having to water them, because what I found with Syngoniums is they can tolerate, not being watered, but if you go too underwatering on them, they end up starting to decline in health, and then that's where they are more prone to like spider bites. That's the only thing with Syngoniums is they are spider mite prone and mealybug prone, just like most plants, but especially if you don't give them the right care, like if you underwater them, they're more susceptible to pests. That's with any plants in general. So I did want to show you all of the different types of Syngoniums. I just wish I knew the plant IDs for these Syngoniums. If you don't have a Syngonium in your houseplant collection, I would highly recommend growing one just because they will bring you joy. They are easy to care for plants and they can propagate easily as well. You can, take a bunch of cuttings. They will root within a week or two. And, a month later, you can plant them in soil if you like, and you'll be able to have more free plants. And here's some more Calatheas. I can't really pronounce this Calathea, but for the plant foldy or the viewer that was able to get me the plant ID, they're the correct plant ID. Thank you so much. So this particular Calathea is a little bit more finicky, or at least that's what I was told. I love the velvety texture of the leaves. I think that it is one of those more uncommon Calatheas just because most Calatheas typically have the shiny satin leaves. Like this one right here, this Calathea lancifolia, love that. Actually, Calathea lancifolia is another Calathea I need to get in my collection for hydroponics. And then we've got a Calathea medallion here, gorgeous looking Calathea. Love that these Calatheas are not bad, not a good, what am I trying to say? It's a good price. I think these are only for $39.99, these larger versions. So they are comparable to like a big box store, but you'll get more variety going to a local plant nursery. I did see that particular velvety type Calathea at Lowe's, but I did want to pan over here and just show you how many plants they have. This is such a full nursery, and we're just in the indoor section. And then we have another Calathea here. I don't know this particular plant ID. So again, plant foldies or anybody just watching this now, please leave in the comments with a timestamp if you know that particular plant ID for that Calathea. The same thing with this Calathea. And I did want to show you this right here. Look at how gorgeous this Calathea is in a 4-inch planter, and this is only for $6.99. So not a bad price for Calatheas. I will be buying several of these Calatheas at Callaway's when I get a little bit more funds, because again, I'm still broke from all of these plant shopping videos I've been making. But I found a little niche where I am starting to grow a lot of my plants in hydroponics. I like growing them in water strictly just because, especially with Calathea, you don't have to worry about underwatering them because they're constantly being watered. There is that ambient humidity because you have standing water, so that kind of prevents them from having like spider mites, and it just takes the guessing game on a lot of your plants. And I love looking at the exposed roots as well, but these are all very healthy looking Calatheas. I definitely want to get them soon, maybe this weekend, just because they are in their best health. Even at local plant nurseries, sometimes plants will decline in health, so you just have to be very mindful of that. Definitely at big box stores, if you go to a big box store and you're lucky enough to find the staff actually unboxing the plants right then, you want to buy your plant. This one right here is another Calathea I would like to get. Now this one is a Calathea Green Goddess. I've seen this offered at Lowe's in self-watering planters. Love that it's just, green, and the green, it's just green across. A lot of Calatheas will typically have like purple undersides, but sometimes having green, just straight green plants are nice to have in your plant collection. And then I can't get over this particular Calathea. Like I probably just need to buy this today. I did say that I wasn't going to buy anything, but in hindsight, I probably should have bought this Calathea because $6.99 is not bad at all. And again, these Calatheas were sourced from Canada. Nice looking Calathea dotty right here. Definitely love the purple, and look at that deep purple underneath the leaves. It's definitely another Calathea that I'm a huge fan of. My Calathea dotty in hydroponics is doing amazing. I want to see what they do after a month, just because it'll take a little bit for them to really acclimate in water. I have several of my Aglaonemas now growing in water, and I think that has helped out a lot. But as you can see, gorgeous looking Calatheas, so many to choose from.
Connected, blacking out the mirror where your light won't reflect it. All of the love from up above. We used to feel like a glow.
And you can see right over here, they've got a bunch of air plants, just several plants to really look at. They've got a palm right here, and then we've got several varieties of assorted ferns. So I don't know all of the plant ferns, so I just want to go ahead and just pan over here and show you these ferns. Now again, with ferns, they typically need a little bit higher humidity. They don't like to dry out, so you want to keep their soil moist. So I will show you the ferns, and if I know the particular plant ID, I will pan that out. But you can see here, this is one of the ferns I might actually get, or one of my first ones. It would be a bird's nest hurricane fern for $19.99 right here. Now with the bird's nest fern, those remind me of like a Dracaena hurricane, and then asparagus ferns. I've seen these a lot at big box stores, and typically in the outdoor section. So I'm not sure if these would just grow outdoors. You can see that the roots are popping out. This one is for $16.99. But yeah, if you are a fern fan, let me know what the plant care tips are, or what type of ferns you like in the comments. I really like it when you guys do leave comments for my videos. It helps with my engagement. And obviously, if you haven't already and you made it this far into my video, please take the time to hit the like button. If you need to pause the video for a second, the like button really helps my efforts out. It helps push my videos to even more people who like to grow plants. And I would really like to see our plant community grow. I love seeing you guys on the live premiere chats. I think the most we've ever had was like 85 people watching live. Someday I'd like to see over 100. So if you love my videos and know that I am having a premiere, maybe invite a friend to come check it out. That would be awesome. And then to all of my regular plant foldies that are always on the live premiere chats, you know who you are. I really appreciate you guys. Continue to smash that like button, as my number one cheerleader Luke says every every live premiere chat we have. And then we have right over here some philodendron hopes. These ones are for $16.99 in 6-inch planters. Really like that a lot as well. Now with the philodendron hope, you typically see that at big box stores. This one is more of a juvenile form, because as the philodendron hope gets larger, the leaves tend to split a little bit more. That one requires bright indirect light like most philodendron. And then check this out, $16.99 for some Alocasia fridex, and there's like 2 of them there. I might end up getting an Alocasia fridex, but I might try to get a variegated one. I know, guys, everybody's all like, I'm jumping on the bandwagon in terms of like variegated Alocasia, but really that's what I've been seeing a lot on Instagram and social media is for some reason, all of these variegated Alocasia varieties have just popped out of nowhere. Give it, last year or a year or two, there wasn't as many, but now you can see so many varieties. And then you can see right here, we've got some philodendron goldie eyes, nice looking philodendron. And you can see they've got so many plants that they've got to have like, more little shelves to go house them, because they can't get on the main tables here. And you can see these nice looking planters. I like that blue planter. And what else do we have here? We've got a bunch of Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blues. Now these are in hanging baskets, nice full hanging baskets of Cebu blue. And do you see the price right here? It is only for $29.99. So for $30, you get this huge 8-inch hanging basket of Cebu blue that you can, chop up and propagate. One of the easiest plants to propagate. They grow like weeds. So I always wondered why, 3 to 4 years ago, they tended to be a little bit more expensive, and now they're within reason. And here we've got some Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. These ones look to be a little bit more sun stressed because the leaves are a little bit brighter. Doesn't mean that they're unhealthy. And then we have this hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. Love the variegation. Now with Marble Queen, as I've always talked about, you definitely want to give this a little bit more bright indirect light. This one's also for $29.99. Otherwise, you will end up getting this to revert. This will revert to more green leaves. So the more light you give it, the better variegation you'll get. It won't get as white as like a Snow Queen pothos, but it will maintain its variegation. And then you're looking at some large ZZ plants right over here. This one's for $59.99. That's not a bad price at all for ZZ plants. ZZ plants tend to be a little bit slower growing, but once they take off, they start to grow a little bit faster. This is just a green variety here. And, with ZZ plants, one of the easiest plants to take care of, they thrive with neglect. You don't want to overwater them for sure. Overwatering them will kill them. They can tolerate lower light conditions, and they're just a gorgeous looking plant. This one right here, for instance, is a Raven ZZ plant. You are basically able to find these everywhere now. You know, a couple years back, again, these plants were a little bit more on the uncommon side, but you can find them at big box stores and like local plant nurseries like this. I love how the new green leaves come out of a ZZ plant, and we have a bunch of Sansevieria right over here. Snake plants, again, are marketed as being very easy plants, but I honestly think that they're a little bit more challenging than what people give them credit for. I think that what's challenging about a snake plant is just the watering. Like, you don't want to overwater them, and if you go for a while where you don't water them, they end up getting dry rot, which is basically the opposite of root rot, and that's also not good for them. They can tolerate a lot of lower light conditions, so maybe that's the reason why they're easy to care for plants. And then we're just going to pan over a bunch of these staghorn ferns, this air plant right here in a hanging basket that is really cool. This one is for $99, but you know, with air plants, supposedly they're easy as well, but I've seen, heard and seen people kill air plants. I think it's just because they overwater them and then the leaves end up rotting. And what else do we have here? Yep, this is for $99. And then we have some carnivorous plants right here. Not really a fan of carnivorous plants. And you can see this is another Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue growing up a totem or some type of pole. And you can see that the leaves are starting to fenestrate and get larger as as they grow up a pole. That's really their natural habitat. And we've got a variegated Marantha right here in a little hanging basket. That's super cute. Look at that right here. Like Marantha plants as well. I think they're super cute. I might eventually get a variegated Marantha. That one I would also grow in hydroponics. So anything in the Stromanthe, Calathea, and Marantha family, I will grow in hydroponics. Now this is a cool looking Alocasia. Not sure what this Alocasia is, but I do like the stems and just the texture of the leaves. So if you know the plant ID for that, please leave that in the comments under a timestamp or even the live premiere chats. And then we've got some more Peperomia serpens right here, more staghorn ferns. These ones are for not a bad price at all. And you can see that this one is just a small one that you can actually maybe mount on a wall, like a wooden plank. I do want to try to do that. And then we've got some more Boston tiger stripe ferns or variegated Boston ferns. Look at that. I really do like the look of this fern. I just need to do my research for it. It might be another fern I might add. I'm a fan of the Boston Rita gold fern and this tiger stripe fern just because of the gold or the yellow leaves on it. I am a huge fan. It's the thing with me. I like dark foliage plants, like plants that are either purple or black, and then also the yellow neon ones are cool. And then we've got another asparagus fern here. I heard that asparagus ferns actually are easy to grow. I just think that their leaves are so delicate looking. And then we have another staghorn fern right over here. Another one that you could possibly mount on a wooden plank. So that's something that I'm going to try to commission my brother-in-law. He does a lot of woodwork, where maybe I can get him to give me a Monstera leaf shape and then probably mount a staghorn fern. That would be super cool. And then here we've got another Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue growing on a totem. And we've got some philodendrons here. So we've got a philodendron Summer Glory. This one's for $19.99. So like a philodendron Summer Glory, I do like the caramel, almost orange leaves, and they get really large. And then I also like the fact that it has a natural shine about it, a satin finish to its leaves. And then look at that texture, that caramel brown as the leaf unfurls is really nice. That is a plant that I will eventually get. I will most likely get it at Callaway's because they have them priced very well. And what else do we have here? We've got some Amidria medium silvers growing on a totem. Really like the look of this plant. Silver plants as well are nice. I have a couple of cuttings that I need to put in soil and let it grow up a pole. So this one right here definitely needs to be growing up. It's a climber, so if you don't grow it up a pole, it will just shoot runners, and it does need a lot of bright indirect light. So if you don't do that, same thing with the Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue. Actually, if it doesn't get enough light, it won't really grow a lot of leaves. It'll just shoot runners because basically it's looking for a light source. These are not bad at all for $6.99. This one's already trailing. I might end up getting another Cebu blue. You can never get enough of Cebu blues, and this is a really good price for it. These 4-inch starter planters for like Cebu Blue, Philodendron Hederaceums, Epipremnum pinnatums, Epipremnum aureums. They are all very priced well, and look at how gorgeous that leaf is, and it's pretty large. Love that fenestration. Just love me some medium silvers. We don't see a lot about them on YouTube, so I want to see if I can get more in detail with that. And then you can see this is a Philodendron White Princess. This one is over $100. It is growing on a plank, and you can see how large the leaves get. I love the pink on its stems as well. It's not as variegated as I would like, but you know, the stem interest is really cool, and this one has clearly attached itself to a plank. So that's the thing with your philodendrons typically, or just any type of like aroid. If you let it grow it up a pole, you will get larger leaves, and you'll really see what the maximum potential of that plant is. But I am going to pass over and just show you, you know, a bunch of these other plants and just show you the plant IDs. Let me know in the comments what you think of them. Like even this Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil, $6.99. This has already got a lot, very, very good price. And then we're going to be passing by a bunch of pothos plants. So we're just going to sit here and admire the plants. I'll stop commenting for a second. Again, just feel free to leave comments on which plants you grow or what you think of them. And yeah, like, let's take a look. I would say every plant that I've just shown you so far, if you are a beginner to growing plants indoors or house plants, get you one of those. I mean, you can get the ones that are this larger size, 6-inch planters right here. These are, I believe, are for $16.99. But look how lush and full that golden pothos is. You can actually chop up those trailing parts and propagate them. But again, Callaways, especially this particular Callaway off of 121 in Custer in Plano, Texas. you must visit this because they've got so many plants. And you can even see right over here, they've got a bunch of starter plug plants for $2.99. I ended up buying a variegated strawberry begonia because I was looking at variegated strawberry begonias in those sizes on Etsy's, and they were a little bit more expensive. And here we've got a tiny Hoya compacta starter for $2.99. I actually am thinking about getting just a small one like that, but you can see they've got a lot of starter plants. If you want to do like a terrarium setup, or even just get a plant that you want to just really grow from just scratch, I would definitely recommend going and buying a starter plant. Like this one right here is a little bit more of an uncommon begonia for $2.99. I remember seeing these at another local plant nursery where they were selling this size for like $12.99. So, you know, this one actually looks like Japanese maple, like the lace leaf Japanese maple, but that is a begonia. But you can see right here, so many plants to pick from, so many starter plants. Love that crane right there, that crane decoration. And guys, if you haven't already, this video actually, or this channel actually started out as an origami ASMR channel where I was literally folding origami paper cranes every single day. I actually fold paper cranes daily. My goal is to actually fold 1 million paper cranes in my lifetime. But if you haven't already, really scroll down to my older videos, learn how to make a paper crane. It really does promote mindfulness and it's super relaxing. Would really like for you guys to check that out. Just because, you know, looking at that crane decoration, it just reminded me of my origami. I may pepper in a couple of origami paper cranes, although when I check my analytics and put, you know, a little small 1-minute clip in between my plant shopping videos, I noticed there was a huge drop of viewers. So I didn't really want to do that. I guess, you know, you guys really just want to be about the plants, but I might sneak in some more other, you know, plant content. I definitely want to eventually move away from just doing plant shopping videos, but I feel like this is what, you know, most of my plant viewers, my plant foldies want to see. So I'll continue to give you guys what you want. But eventually, I hope you guys will allow me to share a little bit more of my personal life, maybe do some of my personal blogs, personal food trips. I'm a big foodie as well. Anyways, let me get off that rant and show you the outdoor plants. So we're just going to quickly pan over here. You can see they've got some tulips here. Tulips are still blooming, surprisingly, just because I feel like, you know, they're about to end in their season. It's very quick with these bulb, you know, flowering bulb plants. But you can see here, they've got so many plants here. Look at how massive that fern is. I do like this little setup that they have of like garden accents. I can't pronounce this name, but I've seen this particular plant, the purple version, indoors, grown by Costa Farms Exotic Angels. But you see how fiery those leaves are. Super cool. I really like that. A lot of these plants are either for ground covers that you can grow, but there were a couple that I ended up buying just because I want to try to grow them indoors. And one of them would be the white edge Swedish ivy. So I ended up getting one where it was more green on green variegation. Now, I've been told that white Swedish ivy are easy to grow and propagate. So we're going to see what that looks like. I'm going to let it grow. And I heard it was a vigorous grower, so that's cool. And obviously, we've got that Hydra helix right over here. You know, you weren't going to have a plant, you know, grow fold video without me seeing Hydra helix or Hedera helix. That was just an English ivy. Again, I have a love-hate relationship, more so love for the plant. I just wish it would love me back. But you can see here, we've got a bunch of different types of plants, garden accent plants. Not sure if these plants can actually grow indoors successfully, so let me know. And then you can see how huge this greenhouse is. Like, this is massive, right? And there are people shopping here. I just try not to get people in the view, you know, in my videos, just because, you know, it's just out of respect. And you can see, look at that cool crane, you know, plant decoration right there. And we've got a bunch of coleus plants here. Getting into coleus plants, I actually uploaded a short 25-second clip of my grandmother talking about how to propagate coleus. So if it didn't push to your feed, definitely check out the channel. You know, click on my channel and then actually look under shorts feed, and you can see her coleus plants. She was able to multiply so many of them very quickly a couple years back, and I still had that clip. And then here is one begonia I did want to show you. I ended up buying this begonia from another Callaway's. What I think I like about this begonia is obviously the dark foliage, the leaf, the stem colors, also the undersides of the leaves, but also the blooms. The blooms look like miniature roses. So, you know, that there's a lot of leaf interest for that. These starter plants were $3.99, so it's not bad at all. I do want to try to grow this outdoors for the most part, and then see if I could overwinter them or just grow them indoors. But all of these tropical begonias, or that's what they're being listed as, they've got different varieties, different blooms. Like look at this one right here, has some really cool blooms. Never really thought about begonias as being a plant that you would grow in like a flower bed, but apparently people do that. And look at this really cool coleus plant here. So the thing about coleus, you can actually grow them to be like trees. They can actually get very woody. The stems can get woody and strong. So I will see if I can do that. And just look at how gorgeous all of these plants are. So many plants to choose from. I want to do some outdoor gardening soon. And I'm going to come outside because I mentioned this in my previous videos, but I love like Japanese gardens, Japanese maples, cherry blossoms, the whole 9 yards for that. And you can see that they've got a lot of Acer palmatum, or that's the scientific or Latin name for Japanese maples. So they've got some that are starting to grow and unfurl their leaves. And, you know, this is when you know spring is here. You can see that they've got some peach trees here. So that's the thing. When you think of like cherry blossoms, it's not always cherry plants, but literally just flowering plants, you know, flowering fruit plants. So you can see this is one that I really want to add into my landscape. This is a cascading peach tree. I love the color of the blooms, but also the leaves have a dark raven look about it. So it kind of reminds me of like a Japanese maple. But if you just pan out here, look at how gorgeous they look. I actually have this gorgeous bonfire peach tree. This is a dwarf, or what they call a patio peach tree. I have mine growing. Mine is actually grown in a lot of size. I ended up buying it at Home Depot. Actually, it was more of a rescue plant, but I couldn't find one of these at local nursery stores at the time. So I ended up getting it, and now it's grown beautifully. I need to try to get a picture of it at least before all of its blooms go away. But look at how gorgeous they are. They are basically cherry blossoms. A really good aesthetic if you want to grow a Japanese garden. All of these plants are actually great for Japanese gardens. I really want something cascading like that peach tree though. Leave in the comments if you are a fan of this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Not sure if they can take full sun, so I will need to ask out. You know, for $169.99, that is not a bad price at all for a pretty good sized tree. That's something that I might end up getting next year. I don't really want to do a lot of landscaping this year. I want to take it easy and just kind of focus on my indoor plants, because, you know, balancing outdoor gardening and indoor gardening is a lot, on top of like having a very demanding job and doing YouTube. So we're just going to admire all of these plants for now. I wish I could just have all the time in the world to garden. And another plant that I really like to grow outdoors are ginkgo biloba trees. This one is the jade butterfly. What I like about ginkgos are they are moderately, you know, they are slow growing trees, but they can tolerate, you know, drought, bright light, full sun, 100-degree Texas weather, so they do very well. I have a ginkgo biloba autumn gold growing in my backyard that has really sized up since I planted it about 5 years ago in the ground. And you can see right here, look at these assorted magnolia trees. I do love, you know, flowering ornamental trees. I just haven't been able to successfully grow them. I got me like a saucer magnolia. It just didn't do well for me, unfortunately, in my backyard. I don't know if it was just too much sun, but we can see that a lot of the plants are still dormant. You can see this is another type of hydrangea here, more of like a tree form. But look at how gorgeous these blooms are. So we're just going to pan over here and just kind of admire all of the plants and even all of the Japanese maples. I love Japanese maples. I would say the best Japanese maples to grow, or the common ones I would say, would be like Acer palmatum blood good, Acer palmatum sangukaku, and Acer palmatum emperor 1. Those are Japanese maples that do very well in the North Dallas area. If you actually want to buy Japanese maples, go to Metro Maples in Fort Worth if you are actually a local in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or even willing to travel. Scott Hubble, who is the owner of that actual nursery, is a friend of mine. I've been going to his nursery for about 5 years now. I buy my Japanese maples there. They have some amazing maples, and I will be doing a future video featuring his local nursery. I go there every year and film it. Those Satsuki azaleas are to die for as well, so stay tuned for that. And you can see so many gorgeous looking Japanese maples. I love Japanese maples because they have an elegance, a natural elegance in their growth pattern, even their leaves and even the colors of their leaves. It's just stunning. I love Japanese culture, even the Japanese aesthetics, and how their gardens are very simplistic but very elegant as well. And you can see they've just got so many varieties at Callaways, and you can see they're fairly priced well. I would say that certain, plant nurseries have a little bit better pricing, but if you're looking for, a pretty good sized Japanese maple, Callaway's nursery, any Callaway's nursery will pretty much carry them. And I do appreciate that they have such variety as well. Now with Japanese maples, now is the time to plant them. If you wait another month, they would not do well, especially in North Texas, because it'll be too hot for the plant to actually establish its roots. And the best time to actually plant Japanese maples are in the fall. I did want to show you guys all of these gorgeous looking azaleas. Azaleas have been a nemesis for me to be able to grow outdoors. They typically have died on me. I have 2 Satsuki azaleas that did well, actually survived the frost and the harsh winter, and those came from Metro Maples. But I'm going to attempt to try to grow some more Encore azaleas, specifically because Encore azaleas bloom at least 3 times a year. Most azaleas will only bloom in the spring. And with azaleas, they are acid loving, so you want to make sure that the soil has a lot of acidity. Things to do to get soil to have more acidity is you can buy a soil acidifier, or you can do the natural acidifying ingredient, and that is just to throw coffee grinds in your soil, mix it up. I know that sometimes Starbucks, if you go to a Starbucks, you can ask them for some coffee grinds. They may donate it, but if you have some coffee grinds available, that will really make the soil acidic, and then your azaleas will do well. Like, look at how gorgeous these azaleas are. These are the coral bell azaleas. These are more considered the Satsuki azalea, but look at that. Very tiny blooms. I actually had one of these. I bought one from actually Callaway's, and it just couldn't survive being in a lot more sun than it needed to be. So I just don't have any big canopy trees in my landscape right now. So until I can get my Shantung maple to grow 20 feet tall or something and have a really good shade, I won't be able to grow these plants until then. But it's always nice to admire them. And I'm just going to pan over here and show you all of the other varieties of azaleas. Most of them are Encore azaleas. I love how the new growth of this, for instance, you can see that this Autumn Royalty is really nice. That purple lavender tone is really cute. But we'll just admire these azaleas. Definitely so many azaleas to choose from. And then I wanted to show you these Rex begonias again. $16.99 for these Rex begonias that are super large. I think that is amazing. So I asked that question, do you prefer the Rex begonia versus like the Ficus elastica ruby? Let me know in the comments. But for $16.99, this is another one that I might want to get in my collection, just because look at that is awesome. I love the gray foliage, and then just the metallic sheen on it, the undersides of all that bloody red look. $16.99 is not bad for such a large begonia. I guess they're trying to say that you can grow these plants outdoors. So let me know in the comments if you have grown, you know, Rex begonias outdoors successfully or even in a landscape, but I would definitely grow these indoors. $16.99 is not a bad price at all. That's why I love Callaways. But anyways, I will be ending this video soon. Please make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I appreciate you guys always following me, and I will definitely do another local plant nursery shopping video. But until next time, this is Richie of Growfuls. Bye.